Michel Barnier has ordered Britain to stick to the European Union's rules if it wants to keep the post-Brexit free trade agreement intact. The Brussels diplomat suggested the UK would have to maintain European standards or risk losing tariff and quota-free trade with the bloc. He said Eurocrats will remain vigilant of future changes in domestic laws and regulations to ensure British firms are not allowed to outcompete their European rivals. Despite talking up Brussels' ability to keep the country tied to EU rules, Mr. Barnier had the audacity to say Britain had reclaimed its sovereignty. The Frenchman said, "Brexit is a process of cutting the cord. The British have always said they want their national sovereignty back, that was never called into question. All EU members are also sovereign states. Now we have to be careful that fair competition remains. We see this with the use of pesticides, for example. This has two consequences: when the rules change, we know how to react. If you want to trade without tariffs and quotas, you have to adhere to the guidelines. We will be vigilant on all levels, this is normal." Singling out No 10's decision to offer emergency authorization for a previously banned pesticide, Mr. Barnier questioned whether Britain could go further with its deregulations in the future. He asked, "The question is, what does a country do with autonomy? Pesticides affect farmers, workers and consumers. This can have an impact on competition and environmental rules." Downing Street defied the Eurocrats' warning, promising to push on exploring new opportunities now Britain is an independent state. A Number 10 source said, "We have taken back full control of our laws and have put in place the critical legislation needed to support transition and ensure a functioning statute book. We can now look forward to grasping the opportunities of being a fully independent country, finally outside the regulatory orbit of the EU." In an interview with a group of European newspapers, Mr. Barnier said the EU would be worse off without Britain as a member. He insisted it wouldn't make the bloc's life easier now its most Eurosceptic nation has left. "I am often asked this question. It could be that some things will become easier in the EU if the British are no longer involved, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the case," Mr. Barnier said. "I am convinced that Brexit will fundamentally weaken us. It's always better to do something together.